will do its own investigation pending the outcome of Parliament's probe. Well, let's get more response on the energy issues mentioned by President Jacob Zuma last night. Joining me now is the head of energy at the National Business Initiative, Val Geen. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Your overall thoughts on the president's speech, particularly on how we're going to get out of this energy crisis?
Thank you, Duduzile. I think, first of all, I'm pleased that energy was number one. I think that we would be remiss not to mention it as a key economic issue. And I think that the President gave a fair assessment of both short, medium and long-term strategies. But I think right now, to avoid any further load shedding and any other kinds of challenges around energy, the short-term solutions are most immediate. And this is what especially appeals to someone like me, organization where we are working with the private sector, especially in terms of short-term solutions to energy efficiency. I think there's a lot to put our hands together to assist with. As
you rightfully mentioned, energy number one on the 9-point plan.
Yes.
And another commitment by the president that government will give Eskom 23 billion rand. Where will this money come from?
I have no idea. I would imagine that money has to be shifted around, but I don't think that when you have a shortage of supply and the challenges that we're faced with, that price increases are unavoidable. And if price increases are unavoidable, then obviously we've all got to put our shoulders to the wheel to look at options to save energy. And as I said before, energy efficiency for us is still an untapped resource. There are many other solutions the President mentioned, but in the short term, that is one that we would like to punt.
And let's speak about those resolutions. So moving from diesel, which is quite expensive, to gas, one can only imagine that will also be quite an expensive process. What do you make of that?
I think we assume that the diesel price will remain low. I think as demand peaks, both in industry and of diesel by Eskom, we are going to see that it's going to perhaps be a commodity that's in short supply. So I think the alternatives of looking at gas are important. And it may cost, but it's also a cleaner form of energy. And this is another issue that we have to address. That while we are looking for keeping stable as an economy, we also need to look at a green economy, which is where the rest of the world is headed.
Indeed. Now, let's talk about what the President mentioned, partnering with the Democratic Republic of Congo on hydroelectrical projects. Now, that region we do know is unstable. So are there any guarantees of supply when it comes to that? Is it as easy as that, or is it more complex?
I don't think any of the solutions that are on the table are easy. Some of them take time. Some of them do depend on the politics of relationships. I think it's a matter of saying what are all the measures within the energy mix that will work. And as I said, some of them will be short-term, long-term and medium-term. And I think the relationship is really a government-led relationship. It's not one that I think the business is actively engaged on. It should obviously support mechanisms where feasible, but it's one of the options. And I think there were many that were mentioned.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your time, Valerie. Much appreciated. That was the head of energy at the National Business Initiative, Val Geen. Right, still ahead, tomorrow marks 2 years since Riva Steenkamp was killed. Her mother says there are still many unanswered questions about that night. That interview and more after the short break. Do stay with us.
You could win one of 20 10,000 Rand shopping vouchers if you pay or renew your TV license at any of the 10,000 outlets nationwide between 28 January and 31 March 2015. TV licenses. Pay yours. Make a difference.